Met everyone. In this video I want to show you the Unifai AI agent and share some of my experience so far using it. Let's jump into it and walk through the actual app and the process so far. When you first launch the actual bot, you will see a very ChatGPT-like UI. And let me explain what you have to do first. And very important to mention that I will also share the quick start directly from the Unifai team, which you go through, that will help you to start with. But I will share you some of the UI elements also. The first thing you will do, and it's also mentioned in the guide, you need to sign in with your Telegram, and you will also sign with a wallet. I used a dedicated wallet, especially for signing transactions for Unifai, but there is also an internal agent wallet. There is like three things that we have here. So we have, or let's say two. We have the actual wallet. This is necessary to sign transactions, and there's agent wallet. This is the wallet where you actually put funds into, and that will be traded through the bot, but we will go through that in a second. And then the Telegram sign in, you will receive notifications through it, and everything that the bot communicate to you will be go through the Telegram notifications. When you have set up so you signed in with your Telegram and you have your wallet and you created the internal wallet, then you can actually start. And the great thing about Unifai is not about like most of the LLMs where you have to be very good in prompt design and create great prompts that work. Here you actually use your language, so it's basically plain English that you need to actually create the bot. And of course you need some experience in DLMM on Meteora, because otherwise it will hard. But anyways, you can even start with the bot to try your first steps and get the actual mechanics placed into your strategy. So everything that you need is actually to go to the agents and create your first task. But before we jump into it, I want to highlight some of the principles here to make you familiar with the UI. So here under the agents, you have the task creator, where you basically start from scratch, or you can use some of the predefined strategies from the community. You can use it as your base or just copy it completely. And then under the wallet, you have the actual wallet. So this is the wallet you actually need to have for signing transactions, for example when you withdraw funds and so on. This will not be used to DLMM on Meteora. We use these bots and LLM for creating pools based on our or others' strategies, and yeah, this is all about this. And for this reason, there is an internal wallet, and you could have not only one, you can have many of those, and you can decide, when we look at it in a second, for what strategies what wallet could be used. So inside of Unifai, you can have, for example, one strategy that is used by wallet A, and then other strategy that's used by wallet B. You can be very creative and also comparing strategies with different wallets and not mixing it in just one. This is a great thing to have, and when you switch to it, then you see the actual wallet, let's say funds, everything that's inside the wallet. And here under the filter tab, you have the the actual Meteora positions. Because you cannot export this wallet, you are not able to export, load it to your Phantom or any other wallet, and then connect to Meteora and then do some stuff there. Everything that you have to do will be inside of these UI. So if you wanna close a position, then you have to do it here from the UI or from a specific task or a specific bot instruction. But step by step, we will see how it works right now. Here, as I said, you see your positions, you see the actual range, so everything that is necessary is here. So for example, you can then put it on the chart, for example, like I did for another position that I have. Be ready to track it when you start with it. So I think that makes sense, just to understand if it's running correctly, not like blindly trust to them. And let's go back. You have, like I said, the ranges and the whole position. And if there were multiple positions in the pool, then you will see it also. And you have the activity tab where you basically see everything that it happens. So for example, you have like your history of all the trades that your task, or this is something like a bot, but this is called task, will made. So, and you, because this is just a wallet, a Solana wallet, you can like deposit funds and you can withdraw funds. This is everything that you actually need. And yeah, let's have a look how you can use it for creating a strategy, creating something that will autonomously work for you without any interactions from your side, so manual interactions. So the task is actually designed to create a pool from your instruction, and it will also search for good pools based on your criterias. And here, for example, when we go to this quick start, you have a basic instruction that you could also use to create your criterias, or this is could be a base for your first task, and you can adjust it on the go. So you can see if something didn't match to your strategy, you can just adjust it, and I will show you how the actual process is. So this is actually what I also did. So I started with a base, and then I make some changes to it over the time, but we will look at it in a second. And before I show you my actual task that I created, I want to show you something more basic one, and this is something that was shared in the Discord community of Unifai, and I think this is a pretty straightforward explanation or a base to start with, and this is actually how it works. So this instruction could work for you as a base, and what it actually shows here, the first step is the, let's say, position managing or your strategy, or how everything starts. And this is like here with first check my existing positions, if PNL, and so PNL plus minus 12% or minus 10%, remove liquidity, claim fees, convert to SOL. If current price is 10% above the max price range of the position, then also remove liquidity, claim fees, and convert it to SOL. Do not remove liquidity under any other conditions. So this is everything that this task will follow. And if you want to adjust it, you just say it. So you just describe it with natural language. The second step that the Unifai needs, or the bot needs, is the actual find pool. So you don't have to sit in front of the computer and searching for different pools on different platforms, on DEX Screener, on Meteora itself, on thousands, maybe not thousands, but various dashboards that shows interesting pools, and the Unifai will do it for you, and it will follow your criteria. So this is like a base for these criteria that you can start with. So for example, the FDV is more than 10 million and max 300 million. On some values, it's good to have like minimum and maximum, because otherwise, if the criteria matches and you go with, I don't know, 1 billion token, it might be not interesting in terms of when you put less soul into it, it will not be that profitable. So this is something that you can change on the go. The TVL, like 5,000, more than 5,000, and you can easily just change it to 25,000, for example, if it fits more, if it fits your strategy. This is something that you don't need to follow blindly. Liquidity 300,000. Also, this is something that you can change over time, so you can play with it, and so on and so on. So we have like 24 hours fees. Needs to be more than 5,000. The quote token, this SOL. So if you want to DLMM with USDC, then you have to change it or just add USDC. If you want to search for both, for example, then of course you need USDC on your wallet. The base fees should be more than 1%, for example. The bin step, here also you have a minimum maximum. If you only want to go 100 bin step, then also just change it to fix 100 bin step, for example. And yeah, 24 hours fee to TVL ratio, you can change it as well. 24 hours volume liquidity, and so on and so on. Base token price change, also that you can adjust it. So this is and the Jupiter organic score, for example. And very important here, for example, could be the base token age. If you set it to very low, you are getting more risky in terms of that the token could be very fast going down, or could be a rag pull. This is something that you can adjust, for example, for 48 hours, for example. It's not like you completely safe here, but it's combined with the organic score, for example, that you can set to like 75 or so, or even higher, depends on your risk level. These instructions are the foundation for you that you can have to find very safe pools, because I wouldn't go for very degen tokens on Unifai, because the bot will set, you need a lot of instructions and a lot of effort to do it as safe as possible. And the second that this instruction says, only if all the above conditions are met, proceed to add liquidity, otherwise skip. So it will look at all pools, and if it match only the match criteria, pools will be considering to put your liquidity into it. And there's condition which also say the size, how much SOL you allowing Unifai to put into each position, and the sizes, for example, here just 1 SOL. You can change it to less or more, depends on your needs and your strategies. And you also have to say strategy, what the actual strategy should be. For example, in this case, SOL single-sided position with a bid-ask strategy, default price range. And default price range means that it will use the actual market price. Why it's important? Because here you also have the ability to decide for a specific price range. So you actually can go like limit orders on specific tokens. I would not suggest it to task or bots like this one, but you can have dedicated to a specific strategies dedicated to a specific pool with a specific price ranges, so you can have something like a limit order or you can create pool on a specific price range or many of those pools. And this is basically how it's worked. So you tell the bot what to do. And the next thing, for example, that's here is missing is claiming fees behaviors or logic. This is something that is not part of this instruction, but you can add it later when you start and adjust, or you can have a dedicated task to it. I will show you this also. And let's jump to what I actually experienced in the last days. I wanted to create my very own layer cake strategy. And what I did, because I had a video dedicated for this strategy, I actually put the transcription to ChatGPT and asked him to create a summary or a prompt-based text for Unifai, and this is actually here the result. And this was my starting point. So I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT took the transcription, created this instruction. So the core idea and the execution is known by Unifai. And Unifai took this and created a task from it. But that was not enough, because here, this is the actual output from every instruction or every chat you do with Unifai. And great here to see, you can read what it's actually made. And the instruction says the strategy overview, step position monitoring, so it's monitor your position and make adjustments. And the exit conditions are also defined, like +6% and -6% on lower and higher range, for example. Range exit, very important. Close position if current price moves above the position upper price range, for example, because you could be not in so much profit that defines for take profit or stop loss, but your position could be out of range. And why holding the position when it's out of range? You can actually close it and search for another one. This is could be very important, and this is something you have to decide, or asking the Unifai to do this. So you have this. If you not have this, then you have to adjust or add it to your instruction. And for example, volume drop, close position if 1 hour volume drops 80% compared to the 2 hours average volume. If there's like drops of volume, could be a good reason to go out of this position. Could be also with the liquidity. If the liquidity drops a lot comparing to what was before, you can also add it. And this, for example, is not part of this instruction. So this is something I can add on top of what I have right now. And this would be just by typing this instruction to the chat, and the chat will respond. And this was like a chat with the bot. So I said my first condition and Unifai replied, and it also asking you for a specific wallet to apply this task on. And then he explained it very structured what he wanna do, which wallet it will use, what's the monitor frequency will be, so for every 30 seconds. What happened now? It tells you that it will monitor, that it will execute, add layers progressively, 50 to 60% drops. And this is something that I will adjust later on, because I find out that it was not doing what I'm actually wanted to the Unifai do. And yeah, so and here the layer structure, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, described in basic English. And if you use another language, then you can, for example, use ChatGPT to translate it for you, and so on and so on. And then I asked him, what's the size of any position? And he responded, because this is something that I was not aware of, and the positional sizing, each layer in this case, use up to 1 sol. And I only had 6 sol in it. This is something that I need to be aware of, because if I don't have enough funds, I cannot create enough positions. Total maximum, it calculates it for you, and it gives you like here an explanation what actually happened. And it gives you also tips, customization options, increasing size, decreasing size, and so on. Let's apply these changes to the new options, and it's done for me. So I ask him to do like less sol, and I also added, yeah, here's the next thing. So I took these instructions that I showed you before, that is also suggested from Unifai, and applied it on top of my strategy that the bot just created. Let's apply these changes, and this is the overall thing that I made. So I changed some of the values here. The amount of sol should be used like half of the sol, and range full available range. So I made this for him, and what he did is he created a new version of it. So it says here v2, and it's changed the values here. So you see here it was 6% on both sides. Now it's 12 and 10, and it changes for it for you, and then you can then go with the new version. And important here, you have to deactivate. We will maybe I can show you this right now. Under the task section, you actually have all of your running tasks, so actually bots or these chats that I had, and you can stop them. And for now, you don't have like resume button. So if you stop this, you only you can't turn it on back from this UI. What you have to do is go back and start it from this UI, so from the actual chat. And let me go back, and you can run a specific task once, or it will run forever until you deactivate it. And yeah, when you have already a task and you have like a new version of it, my suggestion is stop it. I will show you the actual workflow right now, and then you can then apply or turn on your new version. And your existing position, this is something that you need to be aware of, and we will look at it in a second. And yeah, as I said, and then he replies, and he also tells you everything that he's changed compared to the previous version. So key improvements from V1 to V2, and this is a great thing because it shows you what he actually did and what these changes might implicate. And it gives you like more understanding how the DLMM works and what you actually do here, and the enhancements and so on. And then I asked him, what is the size right now for each position? And he replied it to me in a very structured way. So I know then I used like half of the sol for each of the positions, and I can play here. So I can increase, as I actually do, like 2 times every time a position is created. And this is something I just have to say it in a text form. So I just write it down to him. The next thing that I did, is there a limit for the pool to enter defined? Because I currently have around 6 sol at the balance. And he replies me how much positions I could have and how much for each layer I can use. And then I ask him, I tell him, let's use 1 sol for every position for each pool. max 3 positions and only have 2 pools tokens active at the same time. Also, let's go 100 bin step minus 74% for every position you create. What I wanted to do is actually go over the standard 100 bin step to prevent some risky positions. So I wanted to go very wide position, and I found it very useful. So from this point, he created a V3. This will then be the third version of it. And yeah, again, he creates these key improvements, so focus benefits, and this is just great just to read and to understand how much effort you have from this, and how much deeply understanding you have after reading it all. Okay, then I also asked him, we need to modify the instruction a bit to change the entry point for the second and third position to the midpoint of the range. So what just basically did, it didn't match to my strategy, so it took not the 50% of the actual range, but the actual price range. So because minus 50% would be the whole position, the whole 100 bin step position. It's not what I wanted, so I changed it, and now he changed also the actual instruction to compare it to apply it to my actual strategy. And this is at the moment my current task, my current version. And what I discovered then is that I have no rule for claiming fees on the go, because when we go to the wallet and switch to the Meteora, we have like unclaimed fees, and you can add claim fees strategy or a rule on your current strategy. So I can add it to my layer cake DLMM strategy. Or what I decided to do is to have a dedicated task which I can manually trigger. It's something that I just will play with, but it's something that needs to be without my interaction, but it's something that you can do. Because if we, for example, have here tokens because we forgot to swap tokens in our first instruction. So you started, this is what I discovered through try and error. So I forgot about this, and I have like tokens here that are left. And because there is no UI to swap this, you have to create a basic task. And what I did here, I want you to swap all non-SOL tokens to SOL. And everything else the Unifai will do by themselves. So it will get all your balances from your wallet, identify non-SOL tokens, and swap each of them via Jupyter. And then you just create a task, and this will do it for you. The same I have for claiming pool fees. Go through all pools and position are open and claim fees if there are any, and swap them to SOL. This is the same thing. It will create an instruction, and I just need to run it. You of course say on which wallet, and then it will go through all your position, claim fees, and sell the fees into SOL via Jupyter. It doesn't need to be inside your, let's say, main strategy or main task. You can use it also separately, and you can run it like every 30 seconds, every hour, for example. So you can create a rule that runs without your interaction. This is how I solve it for a moment. By, as I said, I'm discovering, I play with it, and it is something that I also encourage you to do. Just create a very simple strategy, not a risky one, and have it as a starting point where you just adjust some of the options, some of the instructions, and where you just over the time you play with it, you see how it's working, and then you adjust here and there stuff, and then you can just apply additional functionality to the bot, and it just use your imagination. And if you have something that you wanna, for example, rebalance your fees into a new pool or something, then ask the bot, ask Unifai to do this. So everything that will came into your mind, just say to the bot, ask him to do it, ask him for tips, ask him questions. This is something that what I also did, and you can also analyze the chart with it. So I say that it belongs to my strategy to enter at the most highest point. So for example, when you enter the pool, the conditions, the starts of the pool is one part, but also there's a charting part that should be inside of your condition or your criteria. You can also catch very fast dumping tokens, for example. So you can search for tokens that lost like 60 to 70%, and then you wanna create a range where they for example go sideways. You can do this with these instructions. So you can tell him in plain English what you want to do, you tell him the criteria, and then he will execute it if the criteria match. A lot of stuff that you can do. My starting point is like getting my already in use strategies and apply them to via Unifai, and through this criteria I can decide on what kind of risk level I use them. So I can, when I do it manually, go more risk on mode, and particularly on Unifai I can go risk off. So, or other way around, sorry, I can use it on less risky tokens, or change the criteria to match tokens that are not that risky as it's supposed to be. Yeah, so give it a try. I think this might be the future of DLMM. This will not make your manual DLMM obsolete. It will just, it could be a dedicated tool for you to, for example, have some slow cook DLMM strategies that you use for, or use it for just USDC Sol strategies. Something that you can leave and it will do the stuff for you, and anything else you can do manually, because you will not sitting in front of the computer 24/7, and when something like Kanye West token, for example, will launch in the middle of the night and you are not sitting in front of the computer, then you will not create a pool for it, and the Unifai can do it for you, for example. There's a lot of reasons to use Unifai, and I find it very interesting to play around with it, because it's like playing with your own LMM, and everybody who uses ChatGPT or other LLMs might find it very interesting to play around with, and it also teaches you somehow to DLMM, or it shows you there's a lot of criteria that you have to follow, that you have to consider, that might be interesting, and it teaches to you in some way, because it's talk to you, it say you what its changes, and it gives you a lot of insights, what is really, really great. So you can just talk to it and ask question about the LMM and so on, and find your very own strategy and very own DLMM behavior. Give it a try, and if you have any questions, you can join the Discord of Unifai. They're very responsive, and yeah, see you in the next video.